Hello and welcome to Dark Souls. I'm Major Zero, and because I am a complete novice, I totally forgot to actually restart my recording software before I started doing this, so I've had to start another character, go straight through the bottom again, so that you don't miss a single moment of this Let's Play, because that's just, you know, the way it goes. We're going to do a little bit of leveling up here, because I can't think of anything else to spend the souls on, to be honest, and I'll explain how little I know about the leveling up. Typically, when you first start the game, you think, oh, you know, what do these do? You press Y, oh no, back. It tells you all this business. But at this stage, you don't really know what stats you're going to want, what stats are going to be necessary, all that business. Typically, you choose what you want to have at like level 80. You want to choose what you have at level 80 and then work towards that. But I don't really do much planning. I'm not a planner, so we're just going to shove some points in endurance and endurance and strength. Yeah, we'll put endurance and strength because endurance gives you more stamina, strength lets you use bigger weapons and hit harder, which is lovely. I may as well talk to this individual. Forlorn person.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
He is a very cheery fellow, as you can obviously tell. Now, I didn't know the correct way to go when I first started playing Dark Souls, and that's fair enough, because who really does? This game is surprisingly open for, you know, a somewhat linear path. But I went the complete wrong way. Can we talk to you? Should we talk to you? I'm not going to talk to him. I don't really need to talk to him. I'm not going to go faith. And he's not very nice. Just in general. I don't really like him. Let's ignore him. But I went via the skeletons the first time I played this game. And repeatedly got my bottom tanned over and over and over again. Until someone politely informed me that this is the correct way to go. And it is, honestly, a much easier way to go. For a start, these guys take, you know, 2 hits. The skeletons were taking 5 or 6, you know, good, strong RT hits, and they're a lot faster and hit harder. What can I say? It was just difficult. I am not a clever man. I'm not going to go. Over there is a ring of sacrifice. If you wear a ring of sacrifice and die, it means you don't lose all your souls, which is the number in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And hopefully we won't need it too soon. I don't plan to do much dying, to be honest. But this guy clearly has other intentions. Now, something that I'm not sure if I expanded upon properly, and if I have done, then I apologise. When you dual wield your weapon, your damage increases, and that's due to you getting 50% bonus to strength. Oh, is this guy? I forgot to kill him last time I was here, that I didn't record. Gives you 50% bonus to strength, which obviously means you do more damage with strength-based weapons. The rats come with me, apparently. No worries there. And I thought this applied across the board, but if you have a weapon that only scales with dexterity, two-handing it won't actually increase the damage you do with the weapon. Strangely, but there's not that many weapons that only scale with dex, so you know, it's still valuable to do. At the very least, it can't hurt if you just switch to them during backstabs, like that. And that's... No, many players are much better than me and simply use a two-handed weapon, but I like to, you know, kick it old school with a shield and sword. Bit of sword and board action. It's also a lot easier. That's mainly the reason I do it. And here comes the dragon. I've never managed to hit his foot, I'm not even sure it's possible. But I have tried. These guys are fun. You see, I'm completely immune during the backstab animations. When I have them. Which is great for group combat. Because it allows you to completely remove someone from the fight without, you know, getting damage. Titanite shot without getting damaged at all. Which is what you want, really, isn't it? Now, these guys here, it took me a while. I didn't actually know you could kick. Kicking is forward on the left stick at the same time as you press attack, and I didn't do it properly there. That's how I used to kill them. Because they actually attack you while they're blocking, and it means it's impossible unless you manage to either somehow move their shield away or kick it, like that. Which is the preferred way of doing this, to be honest. Kick. Stab. Oh. Well, why the stab didn't hit and that did, I'll have no idea. Down here is a merchant who I don't think I'm going to go see. I don't need to see him yet. I don't need the Uchikatana or anything he sells. Down there is an area we'll go to later, specifically down those stairs and along that way towards the Capra Demon. It shouldn't be too long before we're at the Capra Demon, I should hope. Capra Demon is always a fun one to fight. Bit of a nightmare with the two dogs. But once those are gone, it's a fairly easy, straight road. I've never really been sure the best way to do this one. I think the first time you do it, you can stab these two before he even gets in the house. So that makes things a lot easier, but later on that door will remain open, so I think he aggroes to you before you even get into the room, which is less than fun. On the right here, there's two more enemies. One here. And another on the left. And in this chest is black firebombs, which I've never ever used in any playthrough of Dark Souls. I just never use them. There's usually a different way to do it, and I've usually done it that way. Now, these two, bait them out for maximum cheesy, and just deal with them like you deal with the rest of them, with the end of your sword lodged somewhere squishy. And then obviously he's not really a threat anymore. The issue here is picking your fights at least early the game, especially when you don't really know what you're doing. You don't want to run into somewhere where you're outnumbered 2 or 3 to 1. Like here, for example. If I jumped down and started swinging, the guy who's not looking at me, he'd come over here and start giving it yally as well. But you wait for them. That'll do. Oh no, it went. Well, this was a bad plan. This was definitely a bad plan. Talking about tactics and absolutely mugging up. It'd be nice if those killed him in one hit. away he goes. That didn't go super well, I'll be honest. But we have Estus Flask and we will recover. Now, I'm not going to fight the Black Knight just yet. I'm going to wait until I have item find gear, because I'd quite like to get the Black Knight sword. I think he drops it. It's a good weapon. A good strength weapon. These couple down here, it's tempting to run down there and, you know, go and show them what for, but there's a man up here with a crossbow who'd be very, very unimpressed with the APU. And a crossbow bolt at the wrong time can, at least in the early game, spell death very quickly. The strategy with these guys is to let them attack and then make use of the fact that they mucked up and didn't hit you. They're really not very threatening. It might seem so at the start, but there's a much harder cadre of enemies out there. Just beyond. I'll go point one in a minute. I just realised that's the first time I've done that without getting hit in ages. Now, down here is the eponymous Black Knight. And the first time I played Dark Souls, I assumed that I had to kill him to get through whatever was through there. I thought that was the way to go. Or at least a way to go. And it was necessary for him to die. It's not. And he takes absolutely ages to kill. Especially when you're, you know, on a level 6. Oh yeah, I should also say, through that door down there, not that one, that's the one I came out of. Through that door there, with the ominous orange writing underneath it, is Havel the Rock, who is, for most players, not too difficult, but early game he will wreck your shit. He has a big mace and very heavy armor, and, you know, I suppose that's pretty self-explanatory. He just annihilates people. It's quite funny watching someone try and beat Havel the Rock early game, especially if you have the master key and you think, oh, well, you know, I'm probably supposed to go down here. It took me a while to beat him the first time. It does take a long time to kill, and any mistakes, and you are, you know, very, very thin, pasted to the floor. Now, this is the Taurus demon fight. 2 seconds. Over there, on that big tower, he'll magically appear and jump off and come attack you when you get to about midway through the bridge. Now, you'll be tempted to do that the first time you come through here because it doesn't look like there's a ladder. Or at least it doesn't look like there's supposed to be a ladder up here. And it's doable, but it's more prudent just to kill them first. They're not very difficult, and then you don't have to worry about crossbow bolts during the boss fight, which is always a bonus. Because who wants to deal with that? There's a way to beat this boss that's... I'll just explain it before I go and do it a different way. The way I beat him the first time is draw him over here, run up the ladder, wait for him down there, and then jump off and hit him in the head with your sword, similar to how you start the fight against the Asylum Demon. Or the Gatekeeper Asylum Demon, the first guy. But honestly, it's a bit of a cheese method. You just have to jump off and then run back and do the same thing again. It's not very exciting to watch, and anyone could do it. I'm going to do it the way that I've been doing it since I found out I could actually do it, which is, well, basically hide in his groin area and stab him a lot. There you are. He's got a bit of a blind spot between his legs. And it's actually very easy just to stand in here and not get hit. Bam. Not a scratch. There's actually a different way to kill him that involves even less effort than jumping off the top repeatedly. If you... I think it's over to this one. If you get over to this one and fall off at the right time, the Taurus demon will fall off as well. So you kill him by almost, accidentally kill him. Very little effort goes into that method, but it is the way I did it the first time. I think. And then I, felt bad and started again. Now, up on the left is what looks like a fairly easy little path, but the moment I step too far out into the black bit, a dragon will appear and toast the whole bridge, so it's best to avoid that. What we are going to get is Solaire and his soapstone.
Hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
This is the face of someone disappointed.
Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
Fire on.
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey?
No problem.
Greatly. Well then, take this. We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. It may tell me how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Good old Solaire. Bit of a nut job, let's be honest, but he means well, and that's all that really matters in the end, isn't it? Now, we run about here and turn around, I think. There we go. Now run. You hear the wings, you run. There he is. The Drake. You may wonder why I've stripped off to my Slim Jim, but Dark Souls' movement speed is based on equipment load. So I honestly can't remember the numbers, the percentages, which is handy for an instructional Let's Play. But if you have no clothes, you'll run the fastest you can, which is handy when you're trying to outrun a dragon. Now, there's a way to do this next bit that is quite interesting. How did you survive? That might make this slightly more difficult. If I stand here long enough, eventually the dragon gets bored and comes over to find out what's going on. Where at that point you can run past. But it looks like I might have a little bit of trouble. Because there's an enemy there. I think he's about to move. Unless it doesn't work the first time you do it. That seems likely. Oh no, I just feel silly. But to finish this episode off, I'll just go and activate the shortcut. And there we are. Back to this bonfire, where we were not long from the start of the episode. And that is that. That's the Undead Burg cleared for the most part. I'll see you next episode.